Good morning. Oh, we're actually about the end of a song here. Oh no! I'm running a little slow, but nothing that severe. Were you in any particular business? Because I think I heard you were at school, so this isn't necessarily like career job necessarily. Could be. All right, so we're keeping an eye on rebuilding this. Okay. Yeah, if you were a movie lover yourself, that would I imagine that could have been a pretty good job to maybe meet some other movie fanatics. All right, so I don't have a lot of information about the bugs I'm hunting for. I have some suspicion. Well, in the case, actually, the case of being able to pick up a baby, there's probably some code somewhere that handles picking things up, and there's going to be a set of conditions that say when you can and can't do that. So if we run through those conditions, we ought to be able to track down how that works. So the trick is finding the bit of code that does that. Pick up and set down. No, draw non-behind marked. Ah, okay. Oh, oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, that's a bummer. And I imagine that anything in the in a college town is going to have lots of applicants, so the good jobs are probably hard to find. Pick up and set down behind all same row objects. Well, this might actually be the drawing stuff that we were permanent non-wall objects. Well, that would be like A crop row would be permanent non-wall object, right? Which is one of the things I very often see drawn over someone. X start, X end. Ah, okay. So what is... Oops. World X start. X start floor. More to avoid wide object tops popping in. Grid center. So this is the range of, well, no, this is still in grid coordinates. Okay. So when we're looking at pickup stuff, this is grid coordinates, X start to X end, going through all the things we might do. What is our Y iteration here? Or are we doing X and then Y? I would think you would have to do Y first. Underlying ground biomes, floors on top of biomes. Marked objects behind everything else. What's a marked object? Behind everything else. Okay, so this is a YX loop. Are cell drawn floors? Or is that a Boolean for whether it's been drawn? A draw behind player, any sprites behind player. So that's a bit of a special case. Oh, a debug grid might be something to look into later. Players and moving objects. And draw in sorted order. Behind the objects in this row. Once for adults and for recently dropped babies that are still, they remain visibly on top of the adult who dropped them. Okay. But that's still not the pickups, right? Moving objects that fall in this row. Extra moving objects that fall in this row. This is the queue. This row, non-behind marked map objects over the player objects in this row. Same row objects. So this must be inside some other Y loop. Unless we're going XY. For that, for some reason. Now moving... Well, yeah, because this is all probably drawing a row at a time. Sort of layering it up. X start. Okay, so Y start, Y end. So we're doing a row. Marked objects. Draw behind player. I don't know why has draw behind player in any... Oh, this is the, the thing we do with the cars, what's the front and back. Okay. So then we've got draw players. behind the regular objects in this row. So I wonder if... I mean, both of these could be explained by a player being considered to be in the wrong cell, and then visually offset and not quite completing. But that is going to be the harder problem. All right, anything else with pickup? Looks correct. Berry bush is picked from. They pick up baby and keep walking. Wait, this sounds like video script if you're doing teaser video, yeah. Speeds are center weights. New speed order. Generic pickup sound. Clothing sound, clothing change, new clothing. Holding ID is out of range. Receiving a PU means they aren't out of range anymore. Holding PU message. No, it would be more like... Actually, it's more of a pointer down, wouldn't it? Well, it could be getting refused by the... Could be getting refused by the server if there's a drift between those. That's a possibility. So where do we handle attempting to pick up a player? And click, holding 0 peat object. Okay, not held by adult. That's be different. So this is for the large objects. That's going to be objects, not players. Continuous movement mode. Holding something, set down action. This is not going to be a click on self. Hit an object. Does object not consider default transition? Okay, so that's all the hint controls. Empty space. I guess any of these could sub down into like player objects, but that would be sprites, I think. Okay, kill order. And mod click. So this is going to be specifically for deadly objects. To use this from here. This is for holding something greater than 0. Oh, well, it says holding ID greater than 0 and hit other person. Can click others for a non-kill. This is still object greater than 0. Too far away to use on baby. Okay, not kill. Hit other person. Not a mod click. I think that means no object. So there's a lot of conditions here. No, wait, we've already got hit other person. Where'd we get that? Oh, is this actually coming out of... Hit other person false. So the check for pointer hit is doing the collision. So there's a couple levels of this. You've got click offsets to worry about. Next, people in this row. Recently dropped babies are in front and tested first. Okay, so people in this row. This is the primary... Well, I guess we could be short-circuiting... maybe it's not really a short circuit if it hits an object, is it? Recently dropped babies. So... D0 to 2... What are we doing with D? Is that recently dropped babies? Recently dropped baby skip. So is he just using that to like do a little bit of different code in the center of this? Pass 0, pass 1. Hit other person true. Actually, I guess. So that can happen twice. This is right where we're looking. And also, or do we have two conditions in here? Recently dropped baby. Or are these both looking at recently dropped babies? Oh, so this is... Can I get down to check for pointer hit? Oh, okay, there are two in this function. So why are we doing two cells above, one cell to left, right? Hit an object. What if someone is standing behind it? Two cells above. Oh, for people. Out of range, but this was their last known position. Held by someone. Recently dropped baby skip. Nor clicks on self behind tree. And this is largely the same code. So unfortunately, it's really hard to test for this. Because you have to get the situation where it's happening. That's probably why both of these bugs are still around, is that it's so rare that you see them. I was just hoping we could kind of go through... Well, there's two conditions where we can do hit other person. So I might have to do some local patches or I'm just doing a bunch of, or I'm doing some debugging information, and this just run it while we play. So we've got hit other person. So I guess the first question is, are we not hitting the person and being vetoed by some other condition, or are we hitting the person? And that means a precondition of hitting the person is failing. Check for pointer hit. Okay, it is called twice. Clicking during continued motion. So one is pointer O. Oh, so one is for hover and one is for click. Is that right? Pointer down. So that's the one we're going to be concerned with. All right, so I'm going to want to have this on top of my patches. So I believe, okay, so that's done building. My master was actually with all the patches applied. So this was pointer hit inside pointer down. And the thing that we are interested in is anytime our last click, did it hit a person? So we're going to have something like last click on person equals p dot hit other person. And then it's going to say that doesn't exist. But we need to have this available back when we draw something on screen. I don't know if there's any particular place. There's my other. You are our compiler. That was our build. STG. So at least locally we will have patch commands. Delete, edit, export. What did you do to start a new patch? Initialize the repo. Delete, edit, export files, import, new empty patch. Okay, author, auth name, auth mail, auth date, message. Ninac. Name. Oh. Okay, so we should have a new context for that stuff. Or maybe I could just even add as local changes, but if I'm going to be playing this, I want to have all my stuff in there. So just recent home end, and we're starting to get down to code. So this is stuff I was doing other patches. So we were using car for what last. Hit other person. Check for pointer hit. Last click on person. Equals false. So that's going to get reset every time we click, or should. And now where? I forgot. I know I've found things that print, that draw to the screen. Set draw color, light and ground overlay, texture. Partial say. Although that's for like the drawing font. Man, what? Draw message. There we go. Although this looks like it's a translation string. Translate message, draw message. Well, maybe it recognizes certain strings as possibly translatable. So we've got a position, we've got a draw message. This is probably, this is awaiting birth screen. We need to be on the game screen. Well, this is living life page draw. It draws the entire thing apparently. Out of game screens and all. Still waiting birth. Using custom server. This is all still black screen stuff. And if anything, we're going to want to be drawing towards the top of the screen to be over stuff. So there's all a grid draw. Draw floors. Overlay even. Ground overlay. Highlights. They're speaking invisible on screen. Draw speech. Skip these that are, okay, so game objects. Reset flags, only drawn objects get flagged. Double drawing from moving to non-moving mid-draw. Moving cells. Marked objects behind everything else. Was that the drawing? Oh, that's the grid on top of the cells. We're going to get into the debugging layer. Players and moving objects. Moving objects. Probably should have started from the bottom. Permanent non-wall objects. Non-container, container. Highlighted R placements. Debugging home location. All right. Draw square. Debugging click counts. Oh, main font draw string. Or is main font the... Main font draw string X. Oops. Forgot a few windows. Okay. Oh, debug overlay. So this is like we're drawing our paws. Let's draw square. This is like an overlay. Okay. Map pull mode. Teaser video stuff. So this is probably getting to the top of the regular map pull mode, debug overlay. So somewhere down here, we have our own get a little context here where we can establish screen grid offset. But he's trying to actually line up to the grid there. And this is so we could pretty much just say last click on person. Something like that. All right, game source, make. Oh, and I need to finish my other server. All right, so we got that. We want to do this make and copy onelife.exe to down here, build Windows OneLife 181. And then builds, the easy way to do the settings here. Let me go into this old one. Grab all this stuff. And then we should be able to start this up. Ooh, I might have to go change my server settings to allow babies. Okay, so the 100 does not appear to be anywhere on screen. Or I have to do some other setup for draw message. Am I in some other condition? Oop, too few arguments to function. Oop, not you. So we can actually pin this temporarily. Yep. Okay, so we're definitely executing that code. So he was setting up to draw, set draw color 0. This is probably have to be 1, actually. There's like translucency and there's opacity. So sometimes you're not sure which one you're dealing with. However, I'm still not. I mean, I know I've got something to draw text on the screen before. Unless 100 is down here. I probably could also maybe use some easier to see stuff. We can also go back to the. We could try the main front draw. So what kind of coordinates does he use when he's doing draw message? That's he usually does white. Draw rect. Last screen view center. Is it in world coordinates, maybe? What if we did... U... Okay. So we're definitely drawing it. I guess it must be in... Oh, draw message. maybe is in world coordinates, and then something else would be in screen coordinates that I missed. Okay, so for this, yeah, that's one of the things I'm hunting for. I mostly have, if you know more about the conditions that triggers it, that would be helpful. So I think if I just try to run another copy, it will say you can't log in. So I don't know if we need to replace the ID as well. Okay. So now I should be able to test. Okay. Now I've got a thing that can tell me whether I am, and it is pixel accurate, whether I am successfully hitting another person. And until I actually figure out the baby bug, and I should probably reset my server to allow births instead of force Eve. Standing as a baby. Oh, so you think it's a server sync issue? Well, yeah, so the first test is going to be if I get this error and I'm getting this hit, then that means my client is successfully hitting it, at least up to the hit person check. And this is other person. Yeah, so the thing is, I haven't looked at, I don't know the protocol well enough. It might be, yeah, and I have felt like maybe there was some desync in places. You'll sometimes see people kind of jump. I don't know if the protocol requires me to register a player hit in order to send the message. Yeah. I guess I could have done either player, but... Come on, that was an object. This would have been specific... this is very often with, like, berry bushes. Or crop rows. I mean, a rock could probably work. You can't pick that up. Now, where was that? Oop, other window. Okay. Hit. Got the rock. Yeah, it does seem like you're trying to do something when you're hitting it. Okay, so yeah, it is some kind of interference. It does seem like it's very often handled. Well, it could be anything, but this lets me debug the client's having. Well, I'd like to move this a little bit, but it appears that we are doing coordinates in world coordinates, so I don't necessarily want that quite in my face as much. And I don't know. There was like a main font draw. I would guess that draw message. Pause, connection message. Last screen view center. So this can be shrunk back down, and I guess we'll just adjust this. So it is... somewhere out of the way. And then there's a similar problem where you sometimes see players drawn at the wrong layer. And I've wondered if that's related. But that's a little bit of a trickier one. Because you'd almost have to be like just having like lots and lots of... so I have gone... Oh, no, actually it's up here. So that's a little bit out of the way. And then I have a means to see if that particular part of the code detecting someone next time I run into that. Now the player... Now, this is a case... Well, this is the same layer. This is lower layer, that's fine. Where you've got something overdrawing. You most often see it with crop rows. I'm trying to remember if it's only other people that I run into it with. Of course, this might have to be if you're actually moving around on me. Although she wasn't updating in there. Yeah, that one's fine. This would be like standing in front of this. Yeah. Like there's clearly... I mean, this would have drawn on top. I mean, it's not a very... I don't know if we got any... Like, that's drawing on top a little bit, and then if you move down here, you're behind it. Or you're in front of it again. So I'm thinking there has to be some kind of confusion with these style of objects. But with me going to a local server and no lag, there's not any chance of network confusion there. So that's going to be a harder one to pin down. And I'm probably going to need some more time just kind of looking for... Because, I mean, this is a drawing error. So this deals with the information that the client knows regardless of network errors that might be behind the baby hit stuff. I don't know that. I believe that all current servers are in the US, and that's something that he'll kind of look at if it ever gets big enough. Oh, well... I mean, it probably depends a little bit on everyone's connection, but I guess, yeah, it's possible some of the people I've watched who've had bad connections may have just been in another country somewhere. Rather than a generally bad connection. All right, so that's something I can try. Oh, yep, that could be. All right, so we've got one dimension we can look at for baby clicks. For the drawing, now the funny thing is I actually did pick up. And this hit drawing layer stuff. Temporarily insert extra object for drawing. Oh, well, that's interesting. Although a crop row, oops, is not something that would be moving. Holding something not drawn yet. Move through the queue in order drawing. Now what is queue? Draw queue. Draw players behind the objects in this row. Adults, recently dropped babies. Yeah, and that shouldn't be it. Sorted queue of players and moving objects. Well, crop row shouldn't be a moving object, but I guess they could get sorted in the wrong place. In this row. Yeah, so what I'm wondering is if there's something where coordinates are in cells, and then we also have interpolation on top of that. So we get a situation where it's like we're drawing it based on a different cell, and then we have like our interpolation almost, but not quite all the way to the next cell, which could actually end up doing babies as well, if that was putting us off one. However, that was my alarm. Unfortunately, I got started a little bit late, and I have somewhere to go today. I am planning to be back to play the game this afternoon. It will be a little bit later because I'm not sure how long the thing I'm doing will take. We'll see if we get any baby pickup situations where we can test if the client is successfully hitting it. But yeah, I do have to run today. So thanks for hanging out. I've almost got my... I mostly do freelance software development. I need to get better about finding jobs in marketing, but that's the bits and pieces of that I've had supported me so far. Thanks to Kura Katsuni, Catnox, Secret List, Destructive Phase, Stormy Ice Leopard, Instant Speed Live, To Left for the Cry, One Jellybean, Nid Mix Games, Lizzie Live, Game Dev TV, Dog and Lake, and Ocerat Gaming for hosting me. I know software development. There are people who want software development, and they pay me to make things for them. And that's variously from independent projects to, like, one of the last ones I picked up through a site was more of on-site contracting. Yeah, well, I mean, freelance consulting, contracting, it goes by a couple different terms. I'm assuming that freelance comes from Lance Warriors who, are knights that were not bound to a ruler. Anyway, I have to get going. Thanks for watching. Do we have anything else going on right now? Ruffalos is also doing some coding. He's working on... Yeah, he's working on his little Node Twitch bot. So, if you're looking for someplace cool to hang out, that's someplace cool to hang out. Thanks for hanging out with me. Yeah, I'll be back to play the game this afternoon, and goodbye for now.